Hi everybody, I would like to take this moment to talk to you about the What is Religion unit coming up for the Humanities Pathway. And thank you first of all for you teaching this. I planned it last year and I'm very excited to hear how it's going to go down in the Morpeth classrooms, and please feed back to me how it's going, take photos of the kids' work. I'd love to know how it's going. So a bit of background as to why I put this scheme of work together. It was part of some sort of research that I did last year around new things happening in religious studies or in the world of religion and worldviews. And one of the things was from the Ofsted review series that we had, highlighting that really good religion and worldviews education applies different disciplines and helps students to see there's different ways of knowing and different ways of looking at or studying this idea of religion. So that's a big focus for me in this unit. And then secondly, the Commission on Religious Education report with the recommendations they had on the subject being called Religion and Worldviews, because it's a way to look at religion itself and what it is, rather than just looking at sort of expressions of religion, like actually spending time to look at religion itself. So I thought that would be a really interesting angle to take. So when you do come to deliver the unit, the first thing I would do is have a look at the knowledge organizer for staff, which looks like this. It's a Word document. And this is kind of like a really detailed medium-term plan, I guess, where I've broken down the whole unit into 5 sections. You may do them as lessons, but I think you have a lot more time than that, and you'll find that actually they might stretch out over 2 or 3 lessons, the different sort of subtopics, the different 5 areas. And there's bits you can expand on, and yeah, you'll see as you go through those things, there's like written tasks that you could peer assess and go back and rewrite and things like that. And so this knowledge organizer for staff has got more detailed information in it than the student booklet has. So you can, if there's a particular bit that you're about to teach or that you're not sure about, you can have a read through that and it'll give you more detail than the student one. Although the student one's also got quite a lot of writing for reading with them. This one's got more detail, and hopefully you'll find that quite helpful for your own subject knowledge. So that's split down into the 5 areas, and at the top of it, you've got here a little bit of a breakdown about some trip ideas that you could do, different things about the kinds of learning that they'll be doing, but also some common misconceptions. I think it's good to kind of go into it thinking of, well, what's some of the things that students might misunderstand, and then how can we rectify that. So that's the first thing I would do, is have a look through that before I delivered it. And then secondly, the lesson booklets or PowerPoints is a different document where it's broken down for the students. And each one has like a do now for when they come in, and then it's got the text and different tasks and everything. And there's always a plenary, and there's often a bonus task or extension task and things like that. And if you pull up and look at the notes underneath, every time there's a quiz or questions, I've put answers in there, so that, yeah, if you know nothing about this and you walk in and you have to teach it, at the bottom I've got the answers for you. So hopefully you'll find that helpful too. And yeah, there's the text there that you can read with the students, and there's lots of chances for thinking, discussing and that kind of thing throughout, lots of videos and all that kind of stuff. I know some of you might transfer it to more traditional PowerPoint style, which is totally fine, or you might have it like that with a visualizer. Or if I was doing this, I would just have it on the screen and be typing in, because of my handwriting, typing in the answers for the students to have a look at as well. But that's completely up to you how you want to run with it. This is just how the school that I created this for wanted it to be formatted. And also within that, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd page in, there's something called a core sheet, which has got 30 questions or like key terms and definitions, or key people and who they were, which is you can use in different ways. You could set for homework to learn, the first 10 or second 10 or third 10. You could set yourself Google quizzes for it. The students could make a poster with the different things. You could also, at the end of a lesson, have a look at the ones that you cover that lesson, highlight it, tick it, cross it out. Maybe not cross it out, but you could highlight it, couldn't you? You can do quizzes on it later, little flashcards, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's there for you as well as the core sheet. And I have got an adapted one that's got icon pictures, and it's a bit more simplified as well, that you can access. That's in the Google folder, but I can email that to you as well if you like. But the actual content then, like I say, it covers 5 areas that aren't necessarily going to take you 5 lessons, but you can do over the whole course. And really, the whole point of it is looking at, well, what is religion and where has it come from? Are there explanations other than there being a God, possibly, that we could have for where has this idea of religion come from? And the first thing you'll look at is, well, what do we mean when we say religion and how it's difficult to define it? And you'll look at, in each section, there's a different scholarly view that you'll look at and kind of explore, and the students can start to evaluate. So you'll look at something called the 3 Bs as a way of defining religion. And then moving, and yeah, why it's difficult to define religion and how we could think about it. In the second section, you'll look at, well, is there a difference between calling something a cult, a new religious movement, and a religion? And what are some of the studies that have been done around that? You'll look at the work, some ideas from Richard Dawkins, where the students can sort of really evaluate what he says about this as well. And then you'll move into more specifically looking at particular scholars who've had an influence on how people think about religion. And like I say, these disciplinary ways of knowing are going to come in here as well. So with Freud, you'll look at, you'll use a lot of ideas from psychology looking towards religion. And then with Marx, there'll be a lot of things to sociology, history and economics. And then with Durkheim, you'll look at, again, at sociology, and also a little bit about religion and the brain as well towards the end of that unit, that section of the unit, sorry. And with these 3 thinkers, I would say, I think what's really important is for the students to know that not all people who say they don't believe in God would say they agree with these 3 people. So you don't have to see it as like pitting believers against non-believers. And I was thinking as I was planning it that when I was a student, I was a really, really strong Christian. And when I was at school, and I heard some of these views in my lessons, and I was really challenged, and I got quite defensive about it. Or these people saying that my religion could have come from something else. And I remember getting really challenged, particularly about the ideas that Freud had about religion being a product of the mind, because I'm so, it's a comfort and it's a crutch, and I'm so scared that religion is there. And I was so challenged. And then eventually I thought, well, maybe that's just the way God designed me, so that I needed to lean on religion and I needed to lean on that comfort. I don't have to see it as an attack on my faith. Maybe it's just a way of me understanding how my faith works with my mind. So I guess I wanted to say that now, so that you're aware before you do the unit, that we're not necessarily pitting, believers against non-believers. We're just looking at these different ways these scholars have looked at religion. Okay, for some people, they do find that a challenge to religious belief, but for others, they don't at all, and they might agree with these views. Doesn't mean that they don't believe in God. They just see, they see where these views are coming from, and they understand the interplay between, I guess, religion and the mind and class and society. It doesn't have to be that they are against religion if you agree with these 3 thinkers, basically. And also, not everyone agrees with these 3 thinkers anymore in today's society. We've moved on a lot since these 3 men wrote about religion, but they had an influence on their different areas. And I think that's the key reason is, they've had an influence on how people view religion. And all the way throughout, you've got chances for evaluation, for students to give their opinion and what they think about it too. And at the end, there's a sort of a way to have like a debate at the end, where you could either split the class for and against, or you could allow the students to write an essay or something about the way they evaluate the views as well. Rather than take more time up for you, I'm going to just say goodbye to you now, and hopefully have a chance to meet you during a meeting for any Q&As you might have. My main advice would be to have a read through that knowledge organizer for staff, because it will just help get your head around the different parts of the unit, and then from that you can then obviously be teaching the sections as they come along. And please let me know how it goes. Hopefully I can come and catch up with some of the kids when I'm over for Cultures Week and find out from them firsthand how they found the lesson. If you've got any other concerns or questions, just email me, or I'll see you when we meet online. And I hope it goes well, and have a great weekend if you're watching this on a Friday.